1989. The university itself, built in 1971 and named after a former mayor of Calgary by that same name, and he was later governor of Alberta. Off the draw, shot by Bouchard, and that was deflected and dribbled wide.
They're trying to get into the U Sports Canada West Conference, Jack, out of the ACAC. We'll see if their application gets accepted.
Up the right-hand side, it's going to be grabbed by Vesey, and it's swung around the right-hand side. I had heard, in fact, that they were closing in on potentially getting that done. Bouchard up through center. You can't exactly trust what you get on Wikipedia and the other internet sources, but that was an indication of what you were just talking about. They seem to indicate that might be close to being done. Here's Logan Day from the point. A shot redirected by Colin Larkin and a save made by Day. Rebound, wraparound effort by Evan Poli, and Day juggled and then held with a minute 54 gone by in this scoreless first period. Again, last year it was NAIT McEwan upending the Oiler rookies by a score of 2-0. NAIT, a program now in its 53rd year, school that was coming to pass in the Edmonton area in 1962.
And they were the dominant team at the old Canadian colleges level, especially when Perry Pern coached them. And Rick Carriere was on the ice for the ceremonial face-off, a U of A grad that was the head coach at NAIT.
Off the draw, here's McLeod spilling a pass in front for Tyler Benson. It goes to the half wall. Now a shot taken by Vessel was blocked. Trying to clear was Brett Smythe, but did not get out of the zone. And it's handled by Benson with a nifty feed out to Logan Day. And now McLeod from the top of the right circle, out to Day, who fires, and a save made by Daig. And he was unsure of where that rebound was, cleared by his teammates down the ice. And that will be an icing call with 2.5 gone by in the first period. To illustrate your point, I mean, NAIT has been first in the regular season 6 consecutive years. They've won the championship 3 times, but the last 2 years finishing first with McEwan second, and then McEwan's gone into their building and won that decisive Game 3 in a best-of-3 both years, one of them in overtime.
And a lot of that has been Marc-Olivier Daig, who redshirted at the University of Alberta for a year.
Esposito a shot, and that was redirected wide. Daig could not find his way into the lineup and moved on to Grant McEwan and found the playing time. Here's Poli bulldozing his way to the net, crashed into Daig, but the puck skittered behind and then turned over again by Smythe. That's a couple for him early on, and trying to jam it in from close quarters was Van Stralen. Unsuccessful in that endeavor. Ryan Van Stralen drawing into the lineup tonight, as is this man Jake Kulovich. His shot deflected wide. Kulovich, a defenseman out of Colgate, to the corner, and it's Poli. He's checked immediately by Brett Smythe, and coming out of there with a puck is Tyler Morrison with a backhand flip, did not get it out either, and finally NAIT McEwan is able to push it back to center. Up ice, Nolan Yaremchuk will call for a substitution as it's handled and cleared by Kulovich ahead to Dave Gus. Drop pass for Cooper Marody. Winds his way, high slot, quick shot taken by Hebig, deflected wide. Hebig coming off a 40-goal campaign last year in the Western League. Now it's Marody behind the net for the Oilers, who are really buzzing the NAIT McEwan All-Stars to this point in the hockey game. We've played less than 4 minutes. Hard check on Hebig, and now Gus. Back to Hebig, coming out of the left corner. And now the half wall, he'll swing it high slot for Bouchard. Peers inside, drops a pass, beauty for Hebig toward the net, but Daig with a poke check, and the puck winds up behind the net. Tracked down by Jordan Davies, and the NAIT defenseman with another giveaway. Centering pass, Hebig trying to backhander. He was taken down, and that will be a penalty against the NAIT McEwan All-Stars. And these are self-inflicted wounds. I mean, with 4 minutes gone by in this first period, I've counted conservatively 5 turnovers by NAIT McEwan in their own end. In fact, Edmonton has not been in its own zone for more than 2 or 3 seconds at any point in this hockey game.
Well, the Oilers rookies, they had a lot of spirit and jump going against Calgary, just didn't get some stops and didn't capitalize on all their opportunities. Power play wasn't very good in that game against Calgary. The Oilers rookies were actually better 5-on-5, I thought, than on the power play.
Off the face-off, it's lifted safely down the ice by Brandon Ralph, who is one of 2 NAIT McEwan All-Stars that won a Memorial Cup with the Edmonton Oil Kings 4 years back. Gets it in deep. Long-range shot taken by Thomas Foster, easily flicked aside by Wells. And now a lead pass and a quick chip over the net off the rush by McLeod. And that was an excellent chance for Ryan McLeod. He just put a little too much air under that one and was cleared by the NAIT McEwan All-Stars. Logan Day will track it down off to McLeod. a near giveaway, and in fact did turn it over. Tyler Morrison banged it off the boards, and chugging after it is Dallas Smith, who missed a month last year with appendicitis.
You did your homework for this one.
Along the end boards, it's dug out and cleared. Cooper Marody out towards center, overstriding the play and falling down. Ultimately was Hebig, and it's driven back in by Smith. It's from Beaumont, Alberta. 3 years in the Alberta Junior League, and that's a number of players on this NAIT McEwan roster can call the Alberta Junior League at one time home. Driven in by Davies, left for Logan Day by Wells, and here come the Oilers again. Over the line, it's Polai. 35 seconds left in the power play as Goddess in the box for a trip. A drive, Caleb Jones. That hit his own man, Polai, trying to set a screen in front. Hebig comes up with it on the left half boards. Drag move through Smythe. Now looks for a teammate to Jones. And open is Marody. Tried to snap it toward the middle. Broken up and cleared down the ice by Tanner Duncan.
Split on this team for NAIT McEwan. 12 primary AJHL players and 6 guys that spent at least 3 years in the Western Hockey League amongst the skaters.
6 players from Sherwood Park and a number of others from the area. A lot of local talent on display, and off the rush, a shot by Colin Larkin disappears into the breadbasket of Marc-Olivier Daig. And I'm starting to wonder whether goaltenders for NAIT or Grant McEwan give up any, because I haven't seen it.
Well, I mean, they're getting work too, right? That's the thing, and that helps the goaltender get in the game. You mentioned the 2 Yaremchuks, and their father, who played in the AJHL for a year, was an unbelievable player. Portland Winterhawks, 7th overall pick with the Chicago Blackhawks, Kenny Yaremchuk.
Off the draw, cleared, and ultimately punched up towards center ice for Goddess. In fact, Yaremchuk spent the better part of the 80s in the NHL, not only with the Blackhawks, but also with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Sent in deep by the NAIT McEwan All-Stars with Goddess back on the ice. Trying a drag move was Brett Nah, regular season MVP last year in this conference. A shot taken by Austin Yaremchuk. The younger brother had it blocked, and then the return pass, he didn't handle it cleanly. Trying to push up ice and create problems was VC, but Yaremchuk beat him to the spot and found Tyler Robertson. Likewise, an ex-Oil King, but he coughed it up as he tried to get it to Nah. And now, over the line is Hiro Maximov, and his shot redirected harmlessly into the corner. 7 minutes gone by, no score in this hockey game. Oiler rookies have dominated, out shooting NAIT McEwan to this point, 7-2. Punch back to the Oiler blue line, Logan Day. Over to Marc-Olivier Crevier-Morin, and that'll be the last time I go with all 4 names. Sent in deep by Yaremchuk. It'll be taken by Brandon Ralph. He tried to sneak one through. Crevier-Morin comes up with a puck, and a nice clear for the Oiler rookies. Moving left to right across the line. Here's a shot off balance taken by Van Stralen. That deflected into the corner for Esposito. Slid past one man, circles behind the net, still looking for a teammate. Kicks it out for Bouchard. Swung over to Caleb Jones, who was dynamic the other day in Calgary. Bouchard and Jones one more time. Back to Bouchard, one-time rip, and Daig through a screen set by Polai is able to find it and squeeze it. 12:17 to go in the first period. No score from Rogers Place. It's the NAIT McEwan All-Stars and the Edmonton Oilers rookies right here on your home of live face-off right side of goaltender Marc-Olivier Daig, who once again has held sway here in the first 8 minutes, stopping 8 shots and keeping this game scoreless. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you, broadcasting live on what might be the last summer day here in the area. Off the draw, it's ripped high and wide off the rush by Ryan Baskerville. And it came off the glass and was cleared by Tyler Vessel. Bob is leafing through potential Sherlock Holmes references as we speak, as it's spilled in by NAIT McEwan and dropped off by Dylan Wells. Now he's forced to squeeze it because Brett Smythe was in the area. 11:49 to go in the first period. And some new faces in the lineup tonight for Edmonton in terms of what we saw on Sunday afternoon. Anyone in particular you'd like to highlight and pay attention to over the next 50 minutes?
Yeah, well, I like to look at William Lagesson and see how much progression he's made. Played for Djurgården last year. And then also David Gust, who had a good year in the American Hockey League. He's on an AHL deal right now. And they need him to be a good support player at that level for the Oilers. Jay Woodcock now coaching the team down the front.
Coaching the Oilers rookies tonight. A big hit on the far side, and that was landed right in front of the bench by Lagesson. You talked about, Bob, he's had interesting combination of experience with USHL and a couple years at UMass Amherst. Gus was taken down in his own end, but the Oilers were able to punch it up the right-hand boards, driven back in by Colton Waltz. Kulovich will pick it up behind Dylan Wells, peer up ice, send it off the glass, and that'll skitter length of the ice and be an icing call whistled against the Oiler rookies. 11:04 to go. First period, no score.
Jack Dallas Smith went and finished a hit, and I know you got the numbers on Dallas Smith, but he had over 175 penalty minutes a couple times in Junior A hockey, and he is an agitator. Got involved with Lagesson, the aforementioned Lagesson, a couple times in the Oilers' defensive zone.
Lagesson, a fourth-round pick of the Oilers back in 2014, twice a member of Sweden's World Junior team, finished fourth on both occasions. Gust will dump it in, and now NAIT McEwan will reset. And again, when I refer to NAIT McEwan, I'm not talking about a dominant player out there. I'm talking about, again, a consortium of NAIT and Grant McEwan All-stars that have been collected for this game and this game only. Sent in deep by NAIT McEwan in a big collision and going right through it. Nolan Vesey, who's shown some grit. Kirill Maximov with a centering pass. The guy who collided with him, comes up with a puck. For NAIT McEwan, ahead for Gaddis. His centering pass broken up, but the play was whistled for an offside. 10:21 to go in the first period, no score. Cam Gaddis, again, is going to captain this Grant McEwan team. By the way, Greg McTavish, his son Sean, is going to play for this Grant McEwan team. He was not included in this All-Star team, but he's going to play for Grant McEwan this year.
Well, he was third on the team in scoring last year. You mentioned Cam Gaddis, and I played against Cam's dad, Steve growing up, and he, as you know, played in the National Hockey League.
49 games, including most of the 87-88 campaign with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
And later became like a harness driver for harness racing.
That's an interesting combo.
Yes.
See, you did your homework too. Well, no, you've just lived here for 5 decades. Off the right side, here's a steal pull-up. He'll jam it off the boards. Van Stralen able to pick it in. He was picked up by Wichita late last season, and he's drawn a penalty here. This will be a second Oiler power play as Bouchard to Polai in front, and Van Stralen unable to finish. But he drew the penalty. And Ryan Van Stralen's a guy who played, as you know, for the University of Carleton, put up some real good numbers there, and then came into the ECHL at the end of last year, put up 8 goals in 16 games. We'll talk more about him. Bob will fill you in on his U Sports career when we... Power play coming for the Oiler rookies. It's brought to you by ATCO Energy, your trusted Alberta retailer. The Edmonton Oilers rookies out shooting the NAIT McEwan All-stars 8-2 to this point. And Ryan Van Stralen just picking up the second power play of the game by drawing another penalty, this time against Austin Yaremchuk. Off the face-off, Logan Day will guide it over and then get it back high slot for Tyler Benson. Sets up right face-off dot. Little give and go, gets it right back. Then to the goal line, McLeod inside to Benson, couldn't get a shot away, had a stick tied up, and that allowed Tyler Morrison to drive the puck the length of the ice. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Back for our 9th season together of Oilers hockey. We'll have another rookie game for you tomorrow, 7 o'clock live from Red Deer. Oilers get it in deep. It's hacked up over top, and that was deflected in the last moment by Davies. His Vessel was given another opportunity beneath the hash marks. Couldn't get a clean shot away. That game will be a rematch against the Calgary rookie team that beat Edmonton 7-3 at the Saddledome on Sunday afternoon.
And again, in many respects, the other rookies certainly outchanced the Flames rookies. Flames had a little bit more experience on the ice and got a lot of good stops from Parsons during the course of that game.
Off the draw, Cooper Marody able to control. Gifted a pass from Caleb Jones down low. Trying to sneak it by Daig was Evan Polai. Couldn't finish, however. And now in the high slot, Maximov is taken off the puck, and the Edmonton Oilers rookies will be forced to regroup. Caleb Jones with token pressure being applied down the ice by Dallas Smith. Jones regrouping up through center. Caleb Jones, a member of Team USA's 2017 World Junior gold medal winning team, has the puck. Left point, offensive zone. One-timer coming, but it was healed wide by Hebig off a setup from Marody. Now Maximov, drive Jones, and that was deflected away by Isaac Farah. And controlled by Maximov. Out to the point, Jones just inside the blue line for the Oilers rookies. Still another 30 seconds left on the power play. Marody down to the goal line. Polai failed to control, and it was driven length of the ice by Dunkel.
2 power plays so far for the Oilers rookies, and they don't have a shot on goal. They've had lots of possession time.
That was a good look from Marody.
Yep.
Hebig did not make clean contact with that puck, and again, he's a guy who scored 41 goals a year ago. Driving in his gust, right-hand side. He'll gain the line. Shot coming from Kulovich. That was blocked. Tell you what, NAIT McEwan has gotten in the lanes tonight. Edmonton only has 8 shots, but they could have had far more.
Oh, yeah.
And not just on the power play, even strength too, which they're back at now as Brett Nah is able to work it up the right-hand side. Controlled by Lagesson. Sent over to the right side of the rink and picked up by Gust. He'll streak in over the blue line, look for a trailer. Pull up instead in the corner, and a soft chip back behind the net does not pan out. Isaac Farah there to cut it off for NAIT McEwan. He'll bring it to center. That's as far as he'll get, however. Cut up by Kulovich and then lofted down the ice by Larkin, but he was not yet at center. So this will be an icing call with 7:10 to go in the first period. And this is an eerily similar script to a year ago.
I think that's a fair assessment on your part. Evan Polai trying to get something going here for the Oilers rookies. A physical guy, and he, like David Gust, on an AHL deal and trying to secure full-time employment in Bakersfield and work his way up in the organization.
Gust had 13 goals a year ago. That was 5th on the Condors, ranked 6th in Bakersfield point production. Driving down the right-hand side, man fell down, but Waltz recovered and was able to poke it away from Van Stralen. And now controlled by Edmonton, and Luke Esposito brushed back to the point, turned over by Crevier Morin, and brought up ice by Brandon Ralph. Slow to release the puck. Polai stole it, and now Edmonton in transition left to right. Esposito drop pass. Van Stralen put the brakes on. Face-off dot tied up with Waltz. He'll send it down low. Picked up by Esposito. Moving to the front of the net, Evan Polai has got a ton of playing time here in this first period. He's been active. Shakes off Brett Smythe. Stays with it. Controls down low in the left corner. This is a good job by Polai. In front of a quick shot by McLeod. Juggled and then held by Daig. And Evan Polai, I mean, this is 2 rookie camps in a row, Bob, that, I mean, it's hard not to notice.
Well, the other thing that he can do is he can fight. And when you're playing in that Pacific Division in the American Hockey League, that's a factor. He took on some of the more accomplished pugilists. But he can play a bit, too, at a 30-plus goal season as a 20-year-old with the Red Deer Rebels. Off
the draw, Bouchard will pinch down low. Thrust it back behind the net, where Edmonton in pursuit of not only the puck, but the first goal of this hockey game. Still no score. Caleb Jones, left point, waits, shoots. Wide, low glove. Picked up there by McLeod for Edmonton. Now it's Vessel. McLeod, open Jones again. This time he fakes, lets a wrist shot fly, and that's clutched by Daig up near his collarbone. With 5:48 to go in the first period, we'll take outshot the NAIT McEwan All-Stars last year by kind of 49-19. And we're beaten 2-0. Thomas Foster scored the only goal the All-Star team would need that night. Off the draw, ripped on net, another save for Marc-Olivier Daig, who started the first half of that game. He had 19 saves, and then the replacement, Bob, and you've got some background on that, came in and shut the door with 30.
2 starts the year before, and he comes in and makes 30 stops on 30 shots. Pretty impressive performance.
Off the draw, another drive by Jones, juggled and then held by Marc-Olivier Daig.
Nathan Park, right?
Nathan Park, correct.
Yeah. Just on Thomas Foster, Jack, we broadcast his games too as a member of the Oilers rookies a couple years earlier.
Absolutely, University of Alberta. Daig, by the way, I mean, you know, he played at a fairly high level in major junior. Halifax, he was on a team with Jonathan Duran and Nathan McKinnon. So he probably had some rough practices. Off the draw, that was held by Daig, knocked it down, fought it off. And here comes Yaremchuk. Austin with the clear. Austin's the defenseman. Nolan is the forward. And those two were actually born in Switzerland, which means, Bob, when their collegiate careers are over, they could theoretically play in the Swiss League as non-imports. Off the draw, it's dumped in by Bouchard. That's kicked around the end boards and grabbed by Nolan Vesey. Swung it around the boards. You've got Bouchard dishing off. Because as you mentioned, his father had a long pro career. Ken finished up in Switzerland. I think he was playing in Davos. Here comes NAIT McEwan up ice. In over the line, drop pass high slot. Dunkel couldn't find it. And Evan Poli once again springs up ice with the puck, beats a man to the net, backhander save made by Dig. What a move by Poli. Had a little change of pace in there, partner.
And Colton Waltz got a big piece of him. Waltz, excellent defenseman for the Brandon Wheat-Kings in the WHL.
Waltz attempted to clear, did not get it out. Poli surveyed the ice, then dished to the high slot where it was stolen and cleared ultimately by Tyler Morrison. Flipped right back in by the Oiler rookies. But with 4:20 to go, we've got a scoreless tie here. Waltz spun around, another collision between Waltz and Poli. Those two going at it behind the net. No, it's NAIT McEwan able to grab that puck. And Tyler Morrison breaks away from traffic. One of 4 Camrose Kodiaks on this team. Chipped up the middle, stolen away by Vessel. Lead pass Benson. Drops it to the middle, and McLeod couldn't find it with his skates. Long shot from Crevier Morin. Climbed upstairs off the plexiglass. Benson will give it right back to him. Another shot from the point. Redirected. Quick chance. And a save made by Dig. And it was sitting there in the slot for a moment before being cleared to the corner by Goddess. Back in front. Benson wide open. Wrist score. And finally the Oiler rookies break through. Benson to Ryan McLeod, who buries it. And finally, Edmonton is able to score a goal against NAIT McEwan after dominating this first period.
Well, there again, 2 second-round draft choices that the Oilers need to make some hay with. Ryan McLeod finishing off, but the presence of mind for Tyler Benson, and we've already seen Jack, he's a playmaker. He can flat out find guys open on the ice. He had an opportunity to shoot the puck instead. He swung it, got deflected off his stick, and McLeod went down on one knee, had a yawning cage, and no chance for Marc-Olivier Dig.
Shots are 16-2 in this hockey game, and finally Edmonton gets on the board. Dig had stopped the first 34 shots he'd seen in this and last year's game. Off the rush, though, a quick chance for Brandon Ralph, and just the third save of the period for Dylan Wells. And I mean, it's been so long since I've called his name, Bob. I had to recheck the roster to make sure he was still in the game. Long shot taken, and Wells makes another stop, this time through a screen against Jordan Davies. But that can be tough on a goaltender when he gets a quick chance like that off the face-off from Brandon Ralph, because NAIT McEwan had not managed a shot in about 10 minutes.
Well, this is this is a tough matchup for the NAIT McEwan chance. McEwan, Jack, as you know, we talked about on Drive Back from Red here. Grant McEwan played at the University of Calgary. It's coached by Mark Howell. Used to work for Corey Cross for a number of years. And Grant McEwan had a tough weekend. So this is a major step up in weight class for those kids. And it's a little bit different pace right now for them to be matching up against these Oiler rookies.
Off the draw, controlled by Davies. We've got a penalty coming up. This one will be against the Oiler rookies. And a shot taken by Baskerville is blocked. And as the Oilers touch up, it'll be NAIT McEwan's turn to go on their first power play of the game. Edmonton failed to score on either of its earlier first period chances. And going to the box will be Colin Larkin, last year's Division III Player of the Year at UMass Boston, and the older brother of Dylan, who plays for the Detroit Red Wings.
And this is a situation where in the past, when this game was against the Alberta Golden Bears, the Bears had an advantage because their team was together. They had all assistant play. Well, now you're combining 2 clubs to come up with assistant play and power plays. Be intrigued to see what happens here.
Off the draw, ripped by Bouchard. And again, 2 clubs with a pretty heated rivalry. I mean, this would be like Edmonton and Calgary in the fall of 1991 deciding to join forces and play an all-star game together. Up the left-hand side of the ice, stolen by Dave Gust. He'll drop it off for Esposito. Cuts to the middle, short-handed with a wrist shot, and that's snared by Marc-Olivier Dig, who continues to play exceptionally well. The goalie coach for Grant McEwan, Dig's coach, is Curtis Muka, another guy who I believe is no stranger to this game against the other rookies. Did he play for the U of A?
Multiple times, yeah. And actually, Curtis played ahead of Marc-Olivier Dig a number of years ago at the U of A. Sean Bell, former Edmonton Oiler, is a NAIT assistant. Tim Fraggle's the head coach from NAIT. And Mike Ringrose is the head coach for Grant McEwan, and he is a U of A grad. Sean is also on the bench tonight. Yep. Michael's brother and another alumnus of this game. Yep. Got a hat trick, Jack, the 1 year we broadcast the game. That was a Claire Drake, was it not? Yes, it was. Yep. Sent in deep by NAIT McEwan, and nothing going on their power play to this point as it's pounded down the ice by Hebig. And Edmonton will change up its penalty-killing quartet. The penalty kill brought to you by The Brick, saving you money on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. In from the right-hand side, Dallas Smith has his shot blocked. Cross-ice pass delivered to Tyler Morrison in the left corner. It's 1-0 Edmonton on a goal
by Ryan McLeod, set up by Benson and Crebier-Morin. Trying to crowd is Smith. Turning and clearing it up the middle of the ice, Logan Day, and he found a man who was wide open, and that was Cooper Marody. He'll bang it in from center ice, and the Oiler rookies have this power play whittled down to 30 seconds.
I have Nolan Day on the AHL team as the third pairing right shot defenseman. He's a smart player.
Bouchard standing his ground at the blue line, forcing NAIT McEwan to regroup one more time. Colton Waltz trying to flip down the middle of the ice, stolen away by Caleb Jones. Bursts to speed up the left-hand side, and he's drawn a holding penalty on Waltz. That was expertly done by Caleb Jones. The anticipation, and Waltz had no choice but to reel him in, and that's something we saw from Jones on Sunday as well, generating chances at both ends of the ice and in a wide variety of situations. Jones picked off the attempted dump in, created a one-man rush the other way, and a no-doubter against Waltz.
Well, that might be the only defender NAIT McEwan had that would have been able to handle Jones in that situation. So, power play coming up here in 10 seconds time. What a difference in terms of Caleb Jones and Jack this year, his progression in terms of his body composition and this year.
And again, he's not coming off a great year in Bakersfield. So this is a real promising sign for Caleb Jones. What he's shown in the first two games of this rookie camp. Now the Oiler rookies are on the power play, and Tyler Benson controlling that puck on the right half boards. Bouchard sends it over to Jones. Back across, right face-off dot for Benson. He'll back off, top of the circle to Jones. Winds it up, fake the shot, over to Benson on a deflection, and a shot off the chest of Dave. Benson gathers his own rebound, comes out of the right corner, quick pass for Vessel, and a stick save made by Dave. Boy, Vessel has had some great setups, has not buried it just yet. He'll drop it off for Jones. Swung to Bouchard. Back to Jones. One-timer, not much on it. Guided over the net, in fact, by Yaremchuk. And eventually grabbed by the Oilers. Jones to the middle of the ice. Shot Vessel again. Point blank, and a save made by Dave. And now 5 seconds left in the period. The Oilers have to hurry. Lead pass right wing on the rush. Vessel at the horn. A backdoor feed intended for McLeod from Bouchard will skitter wide. Quite frankly, the NAIT McEwan All-Star team is second period face-off at Rogers Place. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Reed Wilkins as well. Inflicted front right off the draw as the Oilers pour into the offensive zone. Here's Tyler Vessel with the shot, and Marc-Olivier Daig with his 19th save of the evening. In case you're just joining us, dominated by the Oilers, but it's just a 1-0 game as another centering pass blocked and a save by Daig. Wide open net, Bouchard shoots, and that was blocked. A brilliant stop by Thomas Foster, preventing a sure goal. Bouchard could not thread it through heavy traffic. Here's Tyler Benson in across the line. Looking to extend this 1-0 lead. NAIT McEwan iced the puck, but Dylan Wells elected to keep the play and perhaps the momentum moving in this hockey game as he drops it off. And up ice comes Colin Larkin. In over the line, left wing, Hill center. That's deflected and snared by Vesey, but just for a moment as Jordan Davies ultimately able to pluck that puck away. And now Kirill Maximov comes in, forces a turnover by Davies, bailed out by Gottis, and then a big hit by Vesey shakes the puck free for Maximov as once again NAIT McEwan has trouble exiting its own zone. Open man is Kulovich. From the line, he'll take a shot. That's deflected high in the air, glances off the plexiglass, and grabbed ultimately by number 27, Stefan Danielson. There's two 27s on the ice tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and two 21s. So if there's a moment's hesitation, there you go. Here's Colin Larkin with a backhander that clipped the side of the net. Got his own rebound, and once again, NAIT McEwan playing chase right now. Oilers just dictating the flow of play. They'll get a line change going as protecting the puck down low is Vesey, who's really been impressive in terms of his grit so far in the two rookie games. Turning and firing is Cooper Marody. Another save made by Daig. Trying to leave it for Daig was Davies, but instead he just gave it away, and Marody's got it right back. He'll drop it for Hebig. Pursuing him is Gottis up in the high slot area. Hebig shakes himself free of one, then two men, then takes it behind the net. Still peering inside. No one home, so we'll go back to Marody behind the net. Davies, who had a chance to clear that puck, did not. Off to his fellow number 27, Danielson. He didn't clear. Now Brett Nah will finally flick it out of the zone off the backhand side, and it's center ice. It's controlled by Dave Gust of the Oilers rookies. 2.5 gone by, second period. Shots are 22-4. Edmonton leads 1-0 on a goal by Ryan McLeod.
And right now the officials starting to manage the game like a game where we've got 22-4 shots. 2 offensive zone opportunities for the Oilers to go on the power play. Neither call either way, Jack, on quick little reaches.
Dan Strallen inside to Polai, and it's shaken free and cleared ahead to Tanner Dunkel. He tried to go down the middle of the ice. That looked offside as breaking in was Braden Harris, but no call. And now NAIT McEwan will protect the puck down low. Controlling and looking to clear Van Strallen, and it's dug out of the left half forwards area and safely ahead for Esposito. Now Bouchard activated. Did not get a centering pass free, and a race down low was Esposito by Isaac Farrell. An Edmonton product. In over the line, Dallas Smith for NAIT McEwan. Turned it over, and here comes Evan Pola. Streaking down the middle, he'll hit the line. Drop pass, McLeod across to Caleb Jones. Has Dig down and out, wraparound score. Caleb Jones makes it 2-0. Edmonton Oilers rookies.
Oilers rookies caught NAIT McEwan in transition. And Jones has been very active. He's a dynamic skater. There's no question about that. Jumped up, joined the rush. It was a 4-on-2, and he picked the puck up on the short side and wrapped it around. The goal, a yawning cage is Olivier Dig. Right skate toe pick on the backside.
Benson another assist. Finding Jones backdoor. Any one of 3 or 4 players might have scored that goal. And they really had NAIT McEwan swimming a bit on that rush. Off the draw, you've got Benson flipping it ahead, and Tyler Vessel fighting through a check from Danielson. Puck controlled and cleared by Baskerville out to center, where it's grabbed by Logan Day. They'll slug it back in for Edmonton, on top by a score of 2-0. Shot clock is 23-4. Here's a steal by Vessel. Up top, open is Benson. Waits, dishes, Day. Back in front, McLeod. Shot juggled, held by Day, who's just been peppered tonight and has delivered another most incredible performance.
A little bit of root finesse after the whistle. Bouchard picks up the second assist. He kind of got that whole sequence started. But Tyler Benson again, Jack. I mean, he just, and this is, you know, for him, I mean, we've seen him at 2 camps in a row, 2016, 2017. And a combination of 4 issues and kept him out of the lineup. And he's made it happen so far here through the first 2 Oilers rookie games.
He's been excellent. Off the draw, you've got VC. From the goal line behind the net, threaded through, and a quick shot rifled by Maximov, but has it deflected out of play. In fact, I mean, if you're really looking so far at whatever it is, the 85 minutes of rookie action we've seen, the best player, whether it be forward, defenseman, or goalie, has been Tyler Benson, in my opinion. Yep. He's been the most impressive.
And Jones and Bouchard have been very good as
They're
well.
right there, but Benson, for me, I mean, his vision on the ice, these are things that, and I guess maybe I'm speaking in terms of NHL qualities that I know he'll need. I'm certainly seeing it. In over the line, Colin Larkin. Nolan Vesey, right circle. Drop pass for Maximov. Could not nudge a shot on net, and it's brought out by Farrell. Ahead to Yaremchuk. Nolan will take it down low right corner, collide with Lagesson. Puck shaken free and shipped safely out by Maximov. Good play along the wall. And now it's Austin Yaremchuk. Right side, Thomas Foster will dump it in. Quickly tossed out by the Oilers, and a nice play along the boards by Larkin to Dave Gust. Cuts inside, drop past Lagesson, fires, kick save made by Dave. Rebound Lagesson, trapped in the corner, shakes free of Waltz. Working him over with 5.5 gone by in this second period. Oilers on top 2-0. First period McLeod. In this period, Caleb Jones. Both goals set up by Tyler Benson. Now Marody breaks free. Coming off the left half boards with a dish. Right side, waiting, trying to jam it through was Kulovich, and that clipped the side of the net and ultimately was sent back to center by Nah. Carried back in by Marody. Knee on knee from Colton Waltz, and that'll draw another penalty against the NAIT McEwan All-Stars. This will be the 4th power play of the game for Edmonton, and another no-doubter against Waltz, who got nailed with a hold on Jones in the first, and that one a bit of a dangerous sticking out of the knee as he caught Cooper Marody, who's drawn a few penalties in the first 2 rookie games he's played.
Well, he's smart. He needs to work on his quickness. I think you'd agree on that. But he's got a good set of skills, and he can process the game.
For me, he's Chris Vandevelde with finish. Off the draw, sent down low, coming off the goal line. Part of that is his background. He's got a similar background. Here's a shot taken by Evan Bouchard. He led the Big Ten in scoring, did Marody, for the University of Michigan. Here's Benson, a quick dish, right circle. Back to the point. Logan Day winds it up, doesn't shoot. McLeod, cross ice. Bouchard through the wickets. Day's got to shoot the puck there. Bouchard was tripped up. That's an obvious penalty on Dallas Smith. And it's going to be 5-on-3 for a full minute 27. Back to Marody for just a moment. Here's how big a Wolverine fan he was growing up in Brighton, Michigan, Bob. He spent his 10th birthday at Ned Yost Arena with a bunch of his friends watching a Wolverine game, and then years later he was playing for him.
Well, I'll give Vandevelde credit for etching out a decent career. He had about a 4-year run there where he's pretty much a full-time NHLer with the Flyers. Marody obviously has a higher offensive ceiling.
Absolutely.
But Vandevelde, created a spot for himself as a bottom 6 NHL center.
Off the draw, drive by Bouchard. Gets it back from Logan Day. And now Bouchard gives the puck right back one more time. Bouchard, right circle. Shot deflected. Day being a bit differential here. 5-on-3, still in effect for another minute. As Edmonton looks to build on 2-0 lead. McLeod in front, deflected, quick shot, score! Tyler Benson found the loose puck right side of the net, and he's got a goal and 2 assists tonight. It's 3-0 Edmonton Oilers rookies.
Well, not much of a chance there for Marc-Olivier Daig. A lot of skill on the ice for the Oilers rookies, and the 2 guys in the fence. Bouchard might get some power play time in Edmonton, at least at the start of the year, and I think the whole day we're going to see for Jay Woodcroft is going to spend some time on the power play down in the minors, and they threw it around, and then the Oilers just, outmanned NAIT McEwan down low. Puck ricocheted off the skate. Benson was right there. Yanni Cajun leaking it.
Daigle's had a couple of problems. Marc-Olivier Daig has had a couple problems covering the puck. He did have a chance to get on top of it with his blocker, Jeff Delorier style. Couldn't do it. McLeod and Vessel will get the assist on the power play goal. And we've got a 3-0 game on our hands as Edmonton drawn offside following the center ice draw. So Benson with a goal and 2 assists, and McLeod now with a goal and a helper. And he showed well on Sunday afternoon against Calgary. Puck didn't go in for him or his line mates, but certainly has tonight. 3-0. Puck whacked out of the hands, or a stick whacked out of the hands of Cameron Hebig, but he was able to keep it alive with his feet and get it out to Gust, who now has the puck from Caleb Jones. Marody bothered briefly by McKittick. Over to Caleb Jones. Shot left circle, redirected wide by Polak, who creates an opposing presence, setting screens in front on the power play. Down to 50 seconds on the man advantage. Gust a drive, deflected by Polak, and a save made by Dave. Rebound sent along the boards. Marody got screened off by the official, and that allows McKittick a clear to Dunkel. He's in over the line short-handed for NAIT McEwan, now on the short end of a 3-0 score. Centering past McKittick, and that was disrupted. Shots are 29-4 in this game, including 9-0 in this period, where Edmonton's been on the power play for significant time. Dozen minutes to go, second period. It's Caleb Jones. He'll hit the line with speed, shimmy his way into the high slot area. Another lost stick on the ice. Quick wrist shot, score. Jones set up Colin Larkin, and he buried it. And that's the first shot we've seen Marc-Olivier Daig have a reasonable chance to stop and not do it. 4-0 Edmonton.
Well, Jones gained zone entry, and it was a one-man zone entry as that. Came down the right side and then butt hooked right through the middle of the ice. Serpentined his way, and Larkin was a pretty good point producer for Division 3 last year. The Oilers taking a swing on him. Fired one home, and as you mentioned, probably one that Olivier Daig would like to have back.
Off the draw, controlled by Lagesson. Man fell down, still kept it alive for Larkin, did Maximoff, and now it's a 3-on-2. Larkin back to Vesey. Puck popped off his stick, and with the score now 4-0, breaking up ice comes NAIT McEwan. Jones will get the assist. He's now got a goal and an assist. So does Ryan McLeod and Benson. 3 points on 2 helpers and a goal. In over the line, Larkin, long shot. Juicy rebound issued by Day. sitting there for a moment and brought up ice by Brett Nah. Left to right, weaving his way in. Open man, right circle, wrist shot, Nah. Save made by Dylan Wells. And that's the first shot he's seen all period. Comes 9 minutes in. It was a good chance for Brett Nah. Wells is able to make the save. Here's Logan Day barreling down the right-hand side for the Oiler rookies. Continuing with the pressure. Long shot. Save made by Day. Shot clock 33-5. Day has been peppered. He's got 29 saves. And he might be looking to come off right now, Bob, as we take a break. With 10:47 to go in the second period, it's been all Oiler prospects. 4-0 live at Rogers. Luke Esposito in the box for the Oiler rookies. Apparently an altercation after the whistle there. And a long shot. Isaac Farah with a wrist shot that disappears into the leather of Dylan Wells. It was a slashing call on Esposito. Meanwhile, Brendan Jensen was not visible on the bench until just moments ago. He's back. And that was the first 70-second timeout of the period. So theoretically, they're still on schedule to get Jensen some playing time in. Of course, 3-year member of the Vancouver Giants a few years back. Also played a couple seasons in the USHL. In over the line on the power play now, NAIT McEwan. Shot by Thomas Foster from the top of the circles. Easily flicked aside by Wells. Out to the point. Yaremchuk. Now it's Ralph. Over to Farah. Puck through the wickets of Thomas Foster. Brushed off the boards, but not out yet. Here's a drive from the point. Brick penalty kill for the Oilers. Right now they got Logan Day out there along with Vessel on the right-hand side. Farah gives it up. Yaremchuk. Hebig on the left side. And he and Crevier Morin do a nice job of defending, but they don't get it out. Now a block shot by Day, and he'll bring it out to center ice for the Oilers. And an easy dump in, and that'll bring the power play inside a minute. 9:35 to go, second period. Shot clock in this game 34-5 in favor of the Oilers. Lead pass right wing, it's Brett Smythe. Gaining the line is McKitty. Back to the point, and a hard check frees it up from Tyler Morrison by Dave Gust, and it's brought up ice by Van Stralen. He'll backhand it in. Gust pursuing the puck. Remember, Edmonton's short-handed here, so Gust is just killing time in the corner. And he's doing a nice job of it. Finally raked free by Morrison and pushed up the wall by Colton Waltz. Baskerville, Morrison turned it over. Gust another steal, and that's yeoman's work on the penalty kill by Dave Gust. He'll clear length of the ice. Combine that with an errant outlet feed from Marc-Olivier Dague, and the power play is over. Sent in deep by Kulovich, and with 8:45 to go in the second period and holding a 4-0 lead, the Oiler prospects are now back at full strength. A dump in, Wells will fall on it, and that will allow us to take a break and Brendan Jensen to come. Nothing hockey game, Edmonton on top, 8:40 to go, second period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you, the second of 3 rookie games this week for you on 6:30 CHED. Tomorrow night, we'll be on the air live from Red Deer, the NMAX Centurion. 7 o'clock, home of the Rebels, as the Oilers take on the Calgary Flames rookies in a rematch of Sunday's tilt, won by Calgary 7-3. Oilers outchanced the Flames in that one, but Tyler Parsons was excellent for Calgary in net, and Stuart Skinner and Dylan Wells had off days. Wells, when he's been tested tonight, has responded. He's got 8 saves. Oilers have 34 shots on net, and Brendan Jensen is now on the pipes for the NAIT McEwan All-Stars, who have control of the puck off an Oiler dump in. And it's Tanner Dunkel being tied up with Kulovich as we approach 8 minutes to go here. Dug out of the corner. Stefan Danielson tries the right-hand side. On target, looking for the puck is Dunkel, and he'll turn and stroke it deep into the Oilers zone. Caleb Jones with a goal and a helper tonight. Tyler Benson a goal and 2 assists. Ryan McLeod a goal and assist. As Edmonton charges down the right-hand side. Colin Larkin has a goal in this game, tries for a second, and Jensen, with his first test, passes it with flying colors. Nice stop. Maximoff got hit by his own man, Caleb Jones, shook it off, found his own deflection in the corner, and got it to Tyler Benson as the Oilers go back to work in the offensive zone. Benson outfoxed with a puck for the moment by Nah, but then it was thrown in front, and Jensen had to make a tough save on Maximoff from point-blank range. Bouchard to Colin Larkin, cross ice to Jones, and it was bumped out of the zone by Cam Gottis and forced back inside the Oiler blue line. Here's Tyler Benson. to Evan Bouchard. Tried the left-hand side. Maximoff briefly had it. Freed it up for Benson. Then he got entangled with Tyler Robertson, and here comes Nate McEwan. Cam Goddess. Right wing shot tipped wide. Blocker side of Wells. And the rebound taken by Kirill Maximov with 6.5 to go in the second period. Now it's Larkin right circle. Centering pass, and that went off the heel of the stick of Caleb Jones. He'll wind it around the boards. Tyler Benson races over in front of the Oiler bench. Tracks down the puck and finds Bouchard, who spins and wrists it down deep. Jensen will knock it down. Now you've got Marody with control of the puck right corner. And it's Hebert. Puck squirts out into the slot. Jensen aggressively comes out to play it and allows Baskerville to flip it back to center. Smacked down by Crevier Morin. And a nice steal by Waltz on Marody. Forces the puck back inside the Edmonton line. Logan Day there for the Oilers. And it's Marody. That play looked offside. It was dropped off and wristed off the glove of Jensen from Dave Gust. Nate McEwan comes up with a rebound. A clear by McKitty. And now it's Baskerville at center ice. He'll send it in, as finishing his check was Crevier Morin, who's been noticeable tonight for the Edmonton Oilers in his first game. Left wing for Marody. Drop pass indeed. It'll be Logan Day. Change of pace on Brandon Ralph. Comes free in the left corner. Ralph still pestering, and Day will leave it in the corner for Gust. Thomas Foster draped all over him. Centering pass shot by Polai, blocked by Davies. And Nate McEwan will break out of its own end left to right. Foster, and that play was offside, was whistled as such with 5:12 to go in the second period. All Oilers tonight at Rogers Place. Edmonton Oilers shots and held on for a 2-0 shutout victory. Tonight the Oilers have found the net often enough, and they've got a 4-0 bulge here with 5:12 to play in the second period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer, Reed Wilkins with you live on 630 CHED, your home of Oilers hockey for yet another campaign. 9th year that Bob and I are together. We're still in one piece. So yes, we're getting along enough. Certainly better than those fellas in Detroit. Off the draw, it's sent up the right-hand side. Edmonton controls the puck, has trouble exiting the zone here, and now it's Brandon Ralph trying to change the complexion of this one for the NAIT McEwan All-stars. Foster sets up a one-timer from long range, and a nice save made by Dylan Wells on Tyler Morrison. And again, we've talked about it, 4 3/4 minutes left in the second period. That's a tough game for Wells to play.
Yeah.
He's seeing shots every 5 or 6 minutes, and he's handled himself nicely with 9 stops.
Well, how many A-grade scoring opportunities has Nate McEwan had in this game? Would you give him 2?
Maybe.
Right.
I'm not sure I would. I'd say 1 that I can think of. Off the draw, Evan Bouchard with control of the puck for the Oilers. They win it in their own zone, and it's Benson forcing his way to the middle of the ice. Dunkel determined. Off to Austin Yaremchuk. And now it's Isaac Farrell. But again, as you've pointed out, Bob, I mean, for Nate and Grant McEwan, this is a challenging contest because you're talking about 2 different teams, 2 different philosophies, and ultimately guys that probably aren't that friendly with one another during the hockey season. It's a fierce rivalry. Caleb Jones up through center, jammed it in deep. I know you're a college football guy. You don't see Auburn and Alabama trading off to go play a scrimmage against Georgia and Florida. Icing call whistled against the NAIT McEwan All-stars.
So my money would be on Auburn and Alabama in that situation.
4 minutes to play, second period. Again, Bob and I will be live in Red Deer tomorrow. They've actually got a nice day of events scheduled with the Red Deer community really kind of taking active interest in the final rookie game of camp for both the Flames and the Oilers. Off the draw, a turnover by Yaremchuk, and that creates a chance for Kirill Maximov. His wrister off the glove of Brendan Jensen, who's come on in relief of Marc-Olivier Dague, who played very well again tonight for the NAIT McEwan All-stars. 30 more saves after stopping all 19 shots he faced a year ago. Crevier Morin to the point, a long shot. Jensen makes a nice save through a screen. And again, Nolan Vesey, he has been more than noticeable. Nolan's brother Jimmy, of course, plays for the New York Rangers, and his father Jim played 15 games in the National Hockey League, product of the University of Maine. And Nolan Vesey, Bob, was One-time late-round draft pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And the Oilers taking flyers on guys like Larkin and BC and hoping that maybe, one of these guys, becomes an NHL forward down the road. These guys are both in on NHL contracts. A little bit of rough stuff after the whistle. There's not a lot of bad animosity between these two teams.
Well, and the Oiler rookies have respect for the NAIT McEwan players. I mean, you're talking a lot of dedication, Bob. A lot of these guys have been playing at a high level for 6-7 years, and this is their one shot to play in an NHL arena. Off the draw, it's sent in deep. And the reason I say 6-7 years is, Bob, it's not only 3 or 4 years of university. They've all often played junior A or major junior prior to that.
Yep.
So you're dealing with some guys that are, in some cases, 23, 24, 25 years old. Off the rush. It was Crevier Morin getting caught up too. Brett Smythe will dish off. BC and Braden Harris, by the way, got the coincidental roughing minors on that last altercation. Oilers break out 3-on-2. Coming right to left over the line is Cooper Marody. To the middle of the ice, hopped over the stick of Kulovic. Tracked down by William Lagesson, top of the right circle. Now it's Marody protecting the puck along the right half boards with 2.5 minutes left in this second period. Caleb Jones, a beautiful play to keep it in at the line. Shot from the point, a save on Von Strahlen, and holding it just long enough was Brendan Jensen. But again, on the score sheet, you'll see a goal and assist for Caleb Jones. But to me, Bob, that's just as impressive a play, the one he made to somehow keep that puck in at the blue line under duress.
Well, he's arguable. I'd say he's the best skater on the ice, right? That's part of the equation for him. He's got a tremendous set of wheels, terrific athleticism, and it's just going to be, where does the process end up going?
Off the draw, quick shot, Poli, and that handcuffed Jensen, but he makes a nice save. He's battled hard since coming into the game in relief of Dig. Goddess failed to clear, and Poli, given another chance, will set it up for Luke Esposito. Down low, Von Strahlen breaks around one man, tried to center, broken up by Jordan Davies. Then a confluence of deflections sent the puck into the right half boards, where it's grabbed by Luke Esposito. Knocked off the puck by Goddess, and NAIT McEwan has control. It's Jordan Davies bringing it up the right-hand side. Dropped off, centering pass, wrist shot, and that was blocked against Tyler Robertson by Evan Bouchard, who did not panic staying in his lane. But here he coughed it up. And now it's Nam. Couldn't get a shot away. Thrown in front. Got his point blank. Save made by Wells. A second chance covered by Dylan Wells. His best work of the night. And Goddess had a great look. And then there was a whack or two and a rebound with Nam in the vicinity. And against arguably NAIT McEwan's two best offensive players, Dylan Wells, equal of the task to keep the 4-0 lead intact.
Yeah, the Oilers rookie's a little bit lucky there. Evan Bouchard got the stick knocked right out of his hands and a couple cracks at it. For some veteran players at the ACAC level, and they couldn't poke it past Dylan Wells, who stayed strong in the core.
Draw one by Foster, ripped high and wide from the point by Austin Yaremchuk. And now it's Isaac Farah maintaining the zone for the NAIT McEwan All-Stars with 90 seconds to go in this second period. Edmonton with 1 in the first and 3 here in the second period to take a comfortable 4-0 lead. A steal by Brandon Ralph at his own blue line, but then it was poked away, and Jensen comes out and makes a nice poke check to deny Kirill Maximov a scoring chance. Crevier Morin up the right half boards. Puck squirts free on Van Strahlen and taken by Nolan Yaremchuk. He'll bring it to center and dump it in. Now to play it, Dylan Wells over to Vessel. And now, with less than a minute to go in this second period, here's Crevier Morin. Up the middle for Vessel. Left wing, Tyler Benson. 3-point night for him. Coughed it up here. Poked the other way by Tyler Morrison, and now Brett Nah looking to get NAIT McEwan on the board. Quick shot, short side, save made by Wells. They'll reach out and cover with 42 seconds to go in the second period. In a game where the shots are now 39-10 in favor of Edmonton. The last two chances have belonged to NAIT McEwan, and Dylan Wells has made quality stops.
Tyler Benson's done some really good offensive things, but that time he turned the puck over just inside the NAIT McEwan blue line, and they transitioned back and had a good surge in around the net. And Wells has had a much more composed performance than we saw in the third period in Calgary.
Well, and it's tough. You're entering in a 4-1 game, 20 minutes to go. And Calgary caught him with a couple of sharp angle shots. But you're right, Bob. I mean, he needed to have a bounce-back performance, and he's delivered one here tonight. Again, his workload has been spotty at best, but When he's been tested, he's responded. Colton Waltz off an Oiler dump in with 20 seconds to go in the period, trying to advance for NAIT McEwan, but Marody took it away, and here comes Benson. In over the line, left circle. Forced out wide, centers for McLeod. Not in shooting position. Under pressure, gives it up for Kulovic. Cross ice, settled by Marody. He waits. Backdoor feed. Intended for McLeod, broken up. McLeod will find it and center. Benson can't make contact, and the horn will sound. And there was an opportunity, I think, for Marody to kind of shoot the puck and hope for a rebound. He had about 6 or 7 seconds there, and instead Edmonton gets nothing. Kind of a continuation at times. Well, your goaltending matchup now is Brendan Jensen at one end for NAIT McEwan. Brendan, to his credit, has a .943 career save percentage in 25 games played for NAIT. And now, after Dylan Wells stopped all 12 shots he faced for the Edmonton Oilers prospects in the first 2 periods of tonight's 4-0 Edmonton lead over NAIT McEwan, Olivier Rodrigue was drafted in the 2nd round this summer in Dallas by the Edmonton Oilers, gets his first chance to play in Oilers silks as he comes on for the 3rd period. The Oilers getting a goal in the 1st and 3 more in the 2nd. And off the faceoff, it's sent in deep by William Lagesson. Rodrigue, 31-16-1 last year in Drummondville with a .903 save percentage. Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. He's played 2 years for him. Tyler Benson, another strong performance for him tonight with a goal and 2 assists. Caleb Jones and Ryan McLeod each with a goal and a helper. And that staked Edmonton to its current 4-0 lead. The other goal tonight scored by Colin Larkin, last year's NCAA Division III Player of the Year. Dump in by NAIT McEwan. Working hard in the corner is Brandon Ralph. Thomas Foster went down, collided with Bouchard. Puck squirted free in the high slot and was taken away by Tyler Vessel of Edmonton. Off the boards for Dave Gust, who squeezed off the puck. And a clear by NAIT McEwan back to center. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer, Reed Wilkins with you for game 2 of 3 this week for the Oiler rookies. We'll be on the air tomorrow night from the NMAX Centrium in Red Deer, where the Oilers take on the Calgary Flames rookies in a rematch of Sunday's tilt, won by Calgary by a score of 7-3. Isaac Farah off an Oiler dump in will clear to Baskerville, back to center. Puck takes a hop up. McKittick is there to clear to Brett Smythe. He's getting worked over by Crevier Morin, attacking up ice. Got a stick on the pass, but kept alive by Smythe, and now over the line, McKittick. Standing still, works his way around Crevier Morin, and now a centering pass from Smythe is denied entry, and brought back up ice by Logaday. Just took that one easily. Up the right-hand side, Maximov tried to center, smacked into the corner by Danielson. Quick shot, Lagesson. That was blocked. Smythe didn't clear. Maximov shot, scored. Squeezed it through the wickets of Brendan Jensen, and that inability to clear the puck out of their own end finally catches up with NAIT as Maximov has his first.
Kirill Maximov was very impressive last year at the Oilers rookie tournament. Played in Penticton, scored a winner in overtime in one of the games. He hasn't had a lot of puck luck, and that time he finally got some. And he just sifted the quick one through. Jensen into the net.
Time 2 minutes of this 3rd period, and it's 5-0 Edmonton. Shot clock is 40-12. And VC with a nice interior feed off that turnover by NAIT McEwan, and that created the chance for Maximov, who did not hesitate by off the draw. NAIT McEwan able to punch it deep into the offensive zone, cleared off the glass and out safely by Kulovic, who last year played 33 games at the American Hockey League level for Manitoba, the AHL affiliate of the Winnipeg Jets, and now NAIT McEwan whistled for an icing call.
Had a tremendous run in Penticton. Couldn't get it done last year despite out shooting Nate McEwan 49-19, couldn't get a goal. They're on it tonight.
Lagesson, a shot off the draw, and that was whistled on net. Stick save made by Jensen. Rebound into the corner. Grappled for, controlled finally by Lagesson. Over to Kulovic from the left half boards. He'll dangle his way toward the net. Dish off behind the cage for Marody. When he tried to squeeze it through, it was broken up and cleared by Colton Waltz. Back to center. Collected and smacked off the boards by Kulovic to Marody. Right circle, cuts inside, drag move, couldn't pull the trigger. Now dishes one-timer, sprawling save made by Waltz, and that deflected back to his goaltender, who was a good 4 feet wide of the net. What a save by Waltz on what should have been a gimme for Ryan McLeod.
What's happened here is, Woodcroft's basically loaded up his 3 best forwards.
What a stop by Waltz. And again, Benson, who had pushed across to handle Marody's chance and then collided with Benson. That puck came right to him after it was blocked by Waltz. Hard slapper by Jones after the faceoff won by Edmonton. But that's turned aside by Jensen, and NAIT McEwan is able to get it in deep. However, I believe they were offside on the entry. Coming over the line right to left with 3 1/4 gone by in this third period. And the game 5-0 in favor of Edmonton. Looking forward to the day in Red Deer tomorrow. There's a luncheon as Bob's hosting his show. Oilers Now, weekdays noon to 2 right here on 630 CHED. He'll be hosting that show live from Red Deer.
I am, but unfortunately I won't be part of the luncheon. You'll have the privilege of doing that. I'll have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Peter Chiarelli, cast of thousands.
Off the draw, here's Evan Polai. Off the rush, backhander taken by Van Stralen. And that's turned aside by Brendan Jensen, and it's twisted out by Tyler Robertson for the NAIT McEwan All-Stars. And now Esposito, Van Stralen draws another penalty as he was tripped up. That was an obvious call against Austin Yaremchuk, and he'll go to the penalty box at the 3:42 mark of this third period. Edmonton 1 of 4 on the power play tonight. They'll get a 5th opportunity as Yaremchuk briefly engaged with Van Stralen. Ryan Van Stralen spent 3 years as a member of the Ottawa 67s before he went to Carleton.
He's going to the box here. Maybe a double minor to Yaremchuk and a single minor to Van Stralen. You take a look at his numbers in the ECHL. He looks to me like a guy who might get some games in the American Hockey League at some point. Bigger body, pretty good forechecker. He's got some range, got a long reach. And he's created a second power play with the Oilers rookies.
Edmonton's ECHL affiliate, Wichita Thunder. That Wichita team for several years was in the old Central Hockey League.
Whereas Oklahoma City used to be in that league as well.
Correct. They were known as the Blazers back then.
Doug Sauter was their legendary head coach, former head coach in the Western Hockey League for most of the early to mid-1980s, including with the Calgary Wranglers.
Had a kid named Hardy who played for years in Oklahoma City.
And he spent some time with the Spokane Chiefs in the Western Hockey League as a coach. Now, was Hardy an offensive skilled defenseman?
Yes. He usually could be counted upon to score 20 goals. Years ago, I did a West Coast Hockey League, Central Hockey League All-Star game, and he was a long-established veteran. Put up big numbers, appeared in that game. Was played in San Diego.
Well,
San Diego Sports Arena, where Dallas Aikens is now the coach. Here's Lagesson. Quick shot, save made, rebound, score. And it's Tyler Vessel, who has had numerous opportunities, and that one a backhander. He's able to slide home on the rebound. 6-0, second power play goal of the game. This one at 3:59 in the third period.
Well, it's starting to add up right now, and you win a face-off on a power play, you have the puck, and Yanni Cage at the side of the net for Vessel. Lagesson shot.
Vessel tipped it on its way to the goaltender. Actually, he kind of created the rebound from which he scored. So Vessel earned that one. Off the draw, dropped off immediately by Davies, and down the left-hand side comes the streaking Jake McKittick. His centering pass goes awry. One time toward the net by Danielson. Rodrigue never got there, but McKittick did. And he'll turn and twist it back to Danielson. Another shot for the point. That was settled by Crevier Morin and cleared for the Oilers prospects attacking from left to right. Maximov hits the line with speed. And his shot blocked. And the rebound cleared by McKittick back to center. 6-0 our score. Kulovich, by the way, will collect a second assist on that scoring play, and that gives him 2 apples on the game. Polak in from the left-hand side. Wrist shot stopped by Jensen. Out to the point for Caleb Jones. Little give and go. Jones from the slot hammers it on net. Left toe save made by Jensen. Looked good on that stop. And cleared by Nate McEwan through the neutral zone. Evan Bouchard able to take over his own blue line. Tried to dish backside. I don't know how he saw Luke Esposito, but Nate McEwan, to its credit, got a stick on that. Esposito back behind the net. Just a little evidence right there, Bob, of Bouchard's vision. I mean, Esposito had just come onto the ice, and Bouchard was about 70 feet away from him. Knew where he was. Up the right-hand side. Clear by Dunkel. Bouchard outlet pass on target for Hebert. Drag move to the middle on his backhand. Tried to curl it on net. Denied by Tyler Morrison with 14:25 to go in regulation. Nate McEwan will try to usher it up the left-hand side. Harris could not get it out of the zone. Dunkel a hard check on the corner on Polai. Recovered the puck. Worked it off the boards to Harris. And now up the right-hand side, it's Dallas Smith who will get it in deep. Line change for the Nate McEwan All-Stars. And a lead pass up the right-hand side. Comes Vessel. Wrist shot long range. Steered aside by Jensen. Centering past Vessel and a quick shot covered up against Nolan Vesey, who again engaged with Colton Waltz. In favor of the Oilers prospects, who are 2 of 5 on the power play tonight and are going to get another look at an Atco power play right now, as Colton Waltz was baited into a roughing minor by Nolan Vesey. So it's 5-on-4. Oilers up 6-0. Here's Luke Esposito off the draw, operating top of the right circle. Gets it back from Lagesson. Dishes on the goal line for Pola. Tried to put it in front. That was broken up. Esposito kept it alive. Lagesson moves it to Kulovich, who has 2 assists tonight. Oilers with 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 2 more goals here in the first 6.5 minutes of the third period. Lead at 6-0 is Kulovich. Dish to Lagesson. Fires into traffic. Deflected. One-handed toward the net by Van Stralen. That was deflected away by Brendan Jensen on in relief of starter Marc-Olivier Dague tonight for the Nate McEwan All-Stars. Long shot redirected. Pad save made by Jensen, but again, Nate McEwan fails to clear. That time it was Davies who couldn't get it past this man, Jake Kulovich. Out to Van Stralen. High slot Lagesson. Kulovich, Lagesson, just inside the blue line. Kulovich one-timer, save made by Jensen. Rebound Polai, out to Kulovich. Shot stopped by Jensen again. Kulovich on his backhand. This time centers off the skate of Esposito. And Jensen will finally cover it with his blocker. 12:38 to play in the third period. And Edmonton continues to pepper the net. 54 shots on net. And a 6-0 lead.
Jay Woodcroft on this power play has not deployed the Jones-Bouchard pairing on the point, or Tyler Benson up front.
Draw controlled by Colin Larkin. Left circle, here's Kirill Maximov. Top of the circle, lets one fly. That was deflected. Picked up at the right face-off net by Crevier Morin. Trades the puck in the high slot. One-timer Logan Day. Save Jensen. Rebound Colin Larkin. Could not jam it home. Crevier Morin out to Day. Fires and lasered it wide. Rebound. Jensen got his body on that one against Kirill Maximov. Came off the boards. Maximov drop pass for Colin Larkin. Wrapped up briefly by Harris, and now Logan Day trying to work himself free. One-timer Maximov, save Jensen, and he'll squeeze it with 2 seconds left on the Oiler power play. And some more rough stuff in front with 11:55 to play in the third period. 6 goals on 57 shots for the Edmonton Oilers prospects tonight at Rogers Place. Dylan Wells stopped all 12 shots he saw in the pipes for the Oilers through 40 minutes. And through 8 minutes and 5 seconds in this third period, Nate McEwan has managed just 1 shot on net against Wells' replacement, Olivier Rodrigue.
Well, 4 of the 8 minutes, the Oilers rookies have basically spent on the power play here in the period. But right now, Nate McEwan looking exhausted, Jack.
Face-off win against Ryan McLeod, and that allows Nate McEwan to send it in deep. Caleb Jones successfully hacks it out of the zone as Benson pressures up ice. Nate McEwan banks it up the right-hand side, and Baskerville will eventually track it down. They'll roll it around the boards. Waltz gives way, and it's a clear for Tyler Morrison. Up the right-hand side, Baskerville failed to beat Caleb Jones, who has a goal and an assist tonight. Chops it back to center and ripped back in by Waltz. Rodrigue, perhaps just anxious to play the puck in any capacity, will just drop it off to McLeod, and now Jones starts up ice with Bouchard. They'll hit center, and Bouchard shoots it in deep, and Edmonton's really backing off now. No pretense of a forecheck. Nate McEwan hammers it off the boards, angled on net. Rodrigue will steer it carefully over to Lagesson, who took a punishing hit in the corner. And Thomas Foster really getting after Lagesson. Up the right-hand side, Vessel finds Gust. He'll gain the line left wing on his backhand. Tough save for Jensen. He makes it. Rebound for Gust in the right-hand corner. Poked away from him momentarily after Lagesson let one fly, and that was deflected 35 feet in the air and into the protective netting here at Rogers Place behind the Nate McEwan net. 10:39 to play in the third period, and it's 6-0. Punishing hit delivered. That was McKittick, rather, who caught Lagesson and then went back at him. Shots 58-14 tonight. Off the draw, Nate McEwan unable to get it clear. Held in by Van Stralen. Sets a screen for Luke Esposito coming out of the right corner. Wrist shot, score. It went right through his defenseman, Austin Yuremchuk. And I'm not sure Jensen ever saw that puck until it was through him.
Well, Luke Esposito played 4 years at Harvard. He's got a pretty famous uncle. Maybe you've heard of him before, Mark Messier.
Helped lead the Crimson to 2 conference championships while at Harvard.
And just button hooked and let one fly. And Jensen was pretty deep in the crease. He spaced a lot of rubber here, and I went right through the legs of the defenseman. Got 2 nights in front of the ball. It's 7-zip.
And then through Jensen's legs. 7-0. 7 goals on 59 shots. Off the draw. Got a drop off for Karol Maximoff. Top of the left circle. Hesitates in front, and a poke check by Jensen on Colin Larkin. Puck squirted free again. Larkin had it. Fought to maintain it. Ends up in the right-hand corner and forced back to the point. Lagesson shot deflected and dribbled on net. Covered by Jensen for the 60th shot on goal of the hockey game for Edmonton. And still 10 minutes and 1 second to play in this third period. 3 in each of the last 2 periods after McLeod opened the scoring back in the first for the Edmonton Oilers prospects.
And at this stage of the game, the Nate McEwan guys just want to get to the finish line here.
Off the draw, Bouchard had it blocked. Brandon Ralph up ice. Chipped it left half boards. Ralph, a product of Fort McMurray. Up the left-hand side, can't catch up to that outlet. And this will be an icing call against the All-Stars for Nate and Grant McEwan.
And if you're an Oiler rookie, you got to keep playing. You got to keep coming. I mean, you got to respect the fact that the guys you're playing against are in school and grinding away, but you're also trying to show what you could do here for the Oilers management and coaches that are in the building.
Off the face-off, chipped up the left-hand side. Brandon Ralph popped off his stick by Bouchard. And the puck gained by Evan Polai. 3-on-2 coming over the line. Polai had a poke checked away by Colton Waltz. And Tyler Morrison comes away with it for the Nate McEwan All-Stars. Ahead to Ralph. His shot redirected off a leg. Entered the Edmonton zone, and Bouchard knocked back to center by Polai. 2-on-2. In over the line. Benson, off-balance shot. Lasered it wide. Rebound hammered to the opposite corner by Logan Day. And tracked by Smythe with 9 minutes left in this third period. 7-0 Edmonton over the Nate McEwan All-Stars. Chipped up the left-hand side and carefully sent out by Danielson ahead to McKittick. Little spin move, could not work his way around Caleb Jones. Weak shot on net, kicked out by Rodrigue. Ahead to Tyler Benson. Gained the line right wing, dropped it off for Cooper Marody. Worked along the boards by McLeod and then to Benson. Puck softly deflected into the waiting arms of Brendan Jensen, and we'll have a timeout on the ice. 8:35 to go, third period. After 20 shots in the first period, 19 in the second, The Edmonton Oilers rookies have piled up 21 already in the first 11 and 1/2 minutes of this third period. They've scored twice on the power play tonight. They have 3 goals in both the third and second periods, and a total score now of 7-0. Shot clock 60-15 tonight in favor of the Oilers prospects. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer, welcoming you back inside at Rogers Place. Crowd of roughly 4,000 on hand for this one. Off the draw, shot wired wide by Bouchard. Rebound comes free to Vesey. He couldn't get it off under duress from Yaremchuk, and it was cleared eventually ahead to Tyler Robertson for the NAIT McEwan All-Stars. Chipping and charging in. Farah can't get there. Lagesson shielded him from the puck and dropped it off calmly to Colin Larkin, who has a goal tonight for Edmonton. Tyler Benson with a goal and 2 assists. Caleb Jones a goal and a helper. Ryan McLeod a goal and an assist. Tyler Vessel and Colin Larkin and Luke Esposito, the other tallies for Edmonton. Lead pass right side. Here's Evan Polak into the offensive zone. Vessel protecting along the corner boards. Polak worked it back to the point. Fired on net by Kulovich Wald. Rebound, Crevier Morin spun off the puck. Kept alive by Hebig right at the blue line and kicked free by NAIT McEwan. Forced back up ice by Harris. Jammed off the boards and back inside the NAIT McEwan zone. Brendan Jensen, the goaltender, who will play his collegiate season for NAIT here, starting up right away. They're already in exhibition play. Calling for icing. None was forthcoming. And NAIT McEwan has to clear at center, where Gust forces a turnover, gives it up, gets it back, and fires wide off the rush. Rebound Van Stralen hunting it down in the right corner to keep it alive for an active Cooper Marody. Now it's Gust spinning off the right corner boards, surveying the interior for a teammate, firing into a crowd, deflected backdoor. Bouchard, a backhander, and he flubbed that one just wide. Rebound collected and brought up ice by Thomas Foster with 6.5 to go in the third period. 7-0 Oiler rookies. Foster sends it in, finishes his check on Jones, who played it up the right-hand side, where Dave Gust sends it back inside the NAIT McEwan line. Danielson ahead. Nolan Yaremchuk can't get there. Ryan McLeod has it for Edmonton, dishes off to Bouchard. The return pass was broken up and smacked back in by Yaremchuk. Bouchard fields it cleanly off the end wall. Jones, the outlet pass on target for Marody. Right wing, forced out wide, threw it on net where it's poked home by McLeod. His second goal of the game, and it's 8-0. Time 14:04.
We've mentioned before, Ryan McLeod, can he be an Eric Holla type of player because he can really skate. That play started all the way back with the defensive zone support, and then Marody just bided his time until McLeod drove the lane hard and he fired a pass in front. McLeod got a tip on it past Jensen. 8-0, and a real heads-up play there as well from Cooper Marody.
4 third period goals have really busted this one open. It's 4-0 after 2. Now it's 8-0. Final 5 3/4 minutes left here at Rogers Place. Sent in deep by Edmonton. It's Colin Larkin. Quick one-touch pass out to Logan Day. Larkin from the right half boards, a backhander on net, a save for Jensen, and it's carried up ice by McKinnon. Chip behind Day, looked to reel it in himself, could not get there. And cleared safely by Lagesson back to center ice. Baskerville couldn't get started, so it's a reset for NAIT McEwan. Jones, his third point of the night on that last goal. So he now has a goal and 2 assists. Same totals could be said of Tyler Benson. Up the middle of the ice. Polai brought it in, tried to make a play to Vessel. That was broken up, and Tyler Robertson the other way for NAIT McEwan. 4:50 to go as a drop pass was hammered wide, partially deflected, played off the boards and safely out by Crevier Morin. Dug off at center ice by Vessel, and Polai will guide it around the end boards as Edmonton looking to kill time more than anything right now. Polai had it taken away by Tyler Morrison. He goes backhand sauce up the middle, broken up by Crevier Morin. Another 3-on-2. Here's Hebig, backdoor feed. Drop pass, a little too fancy. Poked away, Bouchard regained, gave it up. Hebig turned, shot on net, save made by Jensen. Rebound, Luke Esposito. Scored earlier in this third period. Out to Hebig, and now a shot. And Bouchard had it kicked away by Jensen. Rebound, Esposito. Caleb Jones in the high slot. Instead, it goes to Hebig. Now to Jones. Moves it over to Bouchard. Gets it back. Right circle. Loads. Fires and scores. 2 goals, 2 assists for Caleb Jones. That one set up by Bouchard. 9-0.
Well, not much to say there. I mean, the Oilers rookies were able to complete an entire ozone line change. Bouchard with a lot of poise with Jones just to give and go, and there was a net front presence on the flag. Actually, 2 other rookie players in front of the net. And Jensen's body language pretty much says it all. Not much of a chance for him beaten to the short side by Caleb Jones.
Low glove, 9-0. And Edmonton really piling on. That's Bouchard's second helper of the night. Oilers get it in deep. Esposito out to the point. Shot redirected off the heel. The Oilers trying to scramble the puck as Brandon Routh could not do it. Scores loose, high slot, Logan Day right down Main Street. Waits, and too much traffic in front of the net. He'll kick it across. McLeod, the gust, one touch out to Day. This time slide pass, redirected save, rebound, and that was blocked. McLeod bidding for the hat trick, had it denied. Out to Day with 3:15 to go. Shots on goal now 66-15. Beautiful dish. McLeod, gust in front. What a save made by Jensen. And lying prostrate on his backside, he's able to keep that puck out of the net. 3:10 to play, third period. Time for one last break at Rogers Place. It's Edmonton 9 and the NAIT McEwan All-stars no score. Live on your home.
The Oilers.
Final 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Oilers have piled up 29 third period shots against Brendan Jensen, who stopped 24 of them. But it's nevertheless 5 third period goals and a whopping 9-0 lead for the Edmonton Oilers with 3 and change to go. Another face-off in the offensive zone. As NAIT McEwan, who won this game, remember last year, 2-0 despite being outshot 49-19, has been unable to keep in striking distance tonight. Colin Larkin in the corner, battled for. Puck kicked along the end boards. Kirill Maximov, who has a goal tonight, twisted down and unable to hold the zone. Ultimately was Lagesson. He did regain, and while being knocked down, was managed to get it inside the zone. Brought back out by NAIT McEwan. Maximov came thundering back into the play with a hit on Dallas Smith. That shook the puck free, and here's Van Stralen charging back in for the Edmonton Oilers rookies. 2:20 to go. He'll set up an open man, and that's Bouchard from the high slot. Sifts one down low, taken off the end boards, and funneled back outside by Baskerville. Bouchard races over, picks it up in front of his own bench. He has 2 assists tonight. 10th overall pick this summer in Dallas for the Edmonton Oilers. And Luke Esposito, also a third period goal, has his shot deflected harmlessly out of play with 2:02 remaining in this third period. And the Oilers on top by a score of 9-0. Caleb Jones with 2 goals and 2 assists tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, leading what has been an offensive blitzkrieg. Off the draw. Cleared safely out and brought up ice by McKinnon. He centers backdoor, and NAIT McEwan on the board. As Ryan Baskerville spoils the shutout bid for the Edmonton Oilers rookies with 1:52 left in the third period, and you can hear the crowd explode in appreciation for an effort right to the finish line. McKinnon, a beautiful look, and Baskerville makes no mistake.
Turnover. Just inside the blue line. And the other rookies were in a bit of a backpedal. And McKinnon, as you mentioned, with a real good play and an easy tap in for Baskerville. No chance for Olivier Rodrigue.
And again, similar to what Dylan Wells dealt with, it's especially tough when you consider that Rodrigue has not seen a lot of pucks in this period. NAIT McEwan has 4 shots in the third, and that fourth one was a sitter, as you mentioned, no chance. Off the draw, Colton Waltz will bang it in deep from center ice. Recovered by Cremier Morin, and now with a minute 25 to play. Edmonton up 9-1. Here's Kulovich down the middle wheels. Kulovich, like Bouchard, 2 assists tonight. Gaining the line is Nolan Vesey. Drop pass Larkin, wrist shot, redirected wide. Smythe will get a second assist on that last scoring play for NAIT McEwan. And here's Kirill Maximov. Tried to force one to the middle. That was broken up with a minute to go. NAIT McEwan will clear the puck back to center. Bouchard tries the left-hand side. Maximov created a screen for Vesey, but it was smacked off his stick and back to center. Whipped back in immediately by Bouchard, and that climbed up on the glass and sailed out of play. Well, it's worth noting here, Bob, not only will you and I be on the air for our final rookie game tomorrow from Red Deer, 7 o'clock, NMAX Centrium, when the Oilers get a rematch with the Flames rookies, but the next home game here at Rogers Place will be Edmonton's first home tilt of the NHL preseason, and that will be a game played on September the 20th against the Winnipeg Jets, 7 o'clock start right here at Rogers Place. Off the draw, chip off the glass and out. So next time we'll be broadcasting from Rogers. A couple of road preseason games in between.
Might see a little bit lighter lineup for those games as well. Some opportunities for some younger players and maybe some guys in on PTOs to try to make an impression in Calgary and in Vancouver, back-to-back nights.
That'll start our preseason action next week, next Monday and Tuesday. Off the draw, it's fired in by NAIT McEwan, cleared by Dave Gus, back towards center, and the final seconds will roll off, and the Oilers, who were beaten in this game a year ago by a score of 2-0, roll it up tonight with 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and 5 in the third, on their way to a convincing 9-1 triumph, keyed by Caleb Jones' 2 goals.
Canadian 3 stars of the game. Molson Canadian, our team, our beer, proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson Canadian 3 stars of the game. Your third star tonight from the Edmonton Oilers with 1 goal and 2 assists, number 49, Tyler Benson. Your second star tonight from the Edmonton Oilers with 2 goals and 1 assist, number 82, Caleb Jones. And now down to Oilers TV's Tony Brar, who's with number 82 of your Edmonton Oilers.